Hi, this is TJ, and in this video we're going to learn how to add the left hand to our right hand playing. In the last lesson we learned how to effectively play clean tones with your right hand, traversing all of the strings. Next we're going to add the left hand, and we're going to practice and work on coordinating the left hand playing with the right hand. Of course, as your right hand is strumming the strings, it's of utmost importance that your left hand is playing on the same string that your right hand is strumming. We don't want miscoordination of your left hand and right hand. If your left hand is playing on this fourth string down here and your right hand is strumming this top string, then we're not going to get the sound we want. So we want to be sure that your right hand and left hand are always synced up on the same string. So we're going to do a few exercises to practice on that. Let's first talk about left hand technique. With the left hand, as I mentioned, this is finger number 1, finger number 2, finger 3, and finger 4. As I have my hands positioned on the neck, I like to almost assign each finger to its own fret. For example, let's go to fret number 1. We're going to put our left hand in this gap between the end and the first fret. So first finger in here, second finger in here, third here, and fourth over there. Now it's kind of uncomfortable to keep your hand there, but I just want to give you a visual concept as to how in my mind I see my fingers being assigned to different frets. So if my hand is here, if my hand is up on this position of the neck, I know if I need to play something on this fret somewhere, it's going to be this finger playing it. If I need to play something in this fret, it's going to be this finger playing it. If I'm going to be in this fourth fret, it's going to be this finger. Or if I have to slide my hand down to here, I keep my same positioning. First finger in this set of frets, second finger here, third and fourth, and so on. So no matter where you're at on the guitar, I already have kind of a standard positioning that my fingers are going to be in, depending on where we're at in the song or where we're at in playing. My hands are going to kind of be in this same position everywhere we go. Okay? Now, before we move on any further, what do we do with our thumb that's back here? Our thumb, of course, is behind the guitar, and it's going to be, of course, sliding up and down the neck with your fingers. So as your fingers are playing, your thumb is going to need to be, it's going to be applying pressure to the back of the neck, which is what allows your fingers to push against the keys. It's hard to play the guitar you can't push up against the front side of the guitar and not have any pressure applied to the back. So the thumb is just back there to apply pressure to allow you to push with your fingers, okay? So as long as you're pushing firmly with your thumb, it will allow you to push firmly with your fingers. They work hand in hand, and the more practice you'll get, you'll see how they work together. So let's go ahead and begin to start playing. First, when you're playing, what makes different notes on a guitar depends on what frets you're pushing down on. And when we push on a fret, we don't push directly on the fret. Right now I have my first finger. We're going to go to fret number 1, which is this one, string number 1, which is this top string. I'm going to put my finger not directly on the fret. We don't push directly on it. We're going to slide it just slightly to my left. Okay? So we're just going to be, just so you can barely see that string, that's where your finger is going to be. Be sure you push down firmly. Try to get that string to touch the fretboard. And then once you've got it pushed down firmly, use your right hand to push that same string number 1 and strum just like we showed you in the first video. Okay? Stop the tone with your right hand. Lift up on the key and strum without pushing anything. That's what's called an open string. When we're making a noise without pushing any frets on the string, we're playing the open string. Again, I'm going to play open string. Okay, now let's go to fret number 2. I'm going to use my second finger. Again, push down firmly and then pull up with your right hand. And then stop the tone, play it again. Now you want to be sure you're pushing firmly with your left hand, otherwise you're going to hear a real weird sound where it's kind of bubbly, and you're going to hear some buzzing. You hear that buzzing? It's because I'm not pushing firmly down on the strings. If I push down firmly, that's when I can play it and you hear the solid, clean note. We want to get that every time that we play. We don't want that. If you start hearing that buzz, you just need to push harder on the string. Again, be sure that you're almost right up on the fret. We don't want to be in the middle. We want to be a little bit cheating towards the fret. Okay, so for this first exercise, we're just going to use our first finger and second finger. We're going to go to the first and second fret and just play. Just go back and forth between fret number 1 and fret number 2, focusing on getting clean sounds, clean tones. We don't want any fret buzz. We don't want any ghost notes that start ringing out accidentally. Be sure we're not accidentally hitting any of these other strings, having them to make noise. You only want to hear the notes that you're intending to push. Next, let's go to string number 2. Exact same exercise. Using your right hand. Don't forget, after you strum with your right hand, mute it or stop the tone. Stop the tone, switch, stop the tone, switch fingers. Next, let's go to the third string. Same thing. Your left hand thumb should be pushed firmly against the back of the neck, allowing your first and second finger to push firmly against the string and the fretboard. Go to the fourth string. Okay. And so doing this, just going up and down string 1, 2, 3, 4 and back again, this will give you practice with moving your left hand in conjunction with moving your right hand in conjunction with your left hand. I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see them both working together. It's okay if you have to look at your left hand when you do it, but I want you to be able to get to the point to where you don't have to even look at your right hand at all. And you should even be able to kind of look up and do this whole exercise without looking at your hands at all. Your left hand should be able to kind of feel where the strings are at. Your right hand should get a feel for how the distance between each of the strings. So you should be able to do it without looking. Be able to pick up the speed. Be able to do it on any set of frets. Let's jump down here to this fret. Randomly switch to different frets anywhere you want to. Okay. Then once you're comfortable doing that, let's add our third left hand finger. 1, 2, 3. We're going to add our third finger. Exact same exercise, now with just 3 fingers. Focus on getting a clean sound, no fret buzz. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. We want good, clean tones. Switch strings. You kind of go anywhere you want to as long as you're practicing this exercise, moving around to different strings, moving to different frets. That's the point of the exercise. Doing this is going to get your left hand fingers stronger. It's going to give your right hand fingers more endurance. Okay, and right about now, and even probably before now, is when your fingers are going to start, the fingertips are going to start hurting or getting sore. That's a good thing. Okay, the more The saying goes, no pain, no gain, and that's absolutely correct. As those fingers start to get sore, that's them building up callus and building up a resistance to playing against the strings. And trust me, after you practice long enough and after a few days and a few weeks of doing these exercises, they're not going to hurt as bad. They're not going to be as sore. All you need to do when they get sore, just take a break. Take a little break. Come back later on, try it again, okay? After a few weeks of practicing, your fingers are going to be fine, and you'll be amazed at how much longer you can play without your fingers getting sore, okay? So, that's our finger exercises. In the next lesson, we're going to begin to learn some scale patterns, which is the absolute foundation of playing the bass, is learning our scales. Thanks for watching. This is TJ.